Well, good evening and a special welcome to Big Talk. This is Owen Mianza, your host from Africa, Zambia in particular. Tom,
And I am Tom Shonga, joining you from London in the United Kingdom. Together, we'll be your hosts on Big Talk, a program where we dive deep into the real issues, the big conversations shaping Africa and the world. Owen?
indeed, a program where we discuss different issues that concerns Africa and the world. We want to apologize for coming late today. We really had problems, technical issues, which we are working on. Phone issues as we begin, and we hope it's gonna get better. Yes, Tom.
Yes, a lot has been happening locally and uh, abroad in Africa. Yeah, we've got a loaded program. Owen is going to guide us what will happen tomorrow. So today we're just introducing ourselves once again. As we promised, we're going to bring in analysts and people to discuss issues that are affecting us in various aspects of our lives. Owen?
Yeah, indeed, aspects of lives that affect us are some of the issues we're going to bring on this program, and we also going to have guests in terms of those special guests that will come to discuss different topics. We'll have guests that will come to discuss different topics on this program. So for today, like what Tom said, we are not just introducing ourselves, but we're also going to talk about some of the programs that will be coming on Africa TV. Tom.
Yes. Um, Very interesting. There are a lot of things that have happened during the week. Today we've got
Oh, we
analysts
have a
from,
guest from,
yes.
yes, indeed, you can go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, we've got a guest from Lusaka who's an analyst, political analyst, and various analysts. He'll introduce himself. Innocent.
Thank you very much. My name is Innocent Matiola, right from Lusaka, Zambia. Good evening.
Good evening, Innocent. We're glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, indeed, we are glad to have Innocent, an analyst who will be coming, who will be a regular figure in terms of analyzing real issues on Africa TV, not only on a Big Talk program, but on a number of programs that will bring on this platform. For your information, we are streaming live on different platforms, so please make sure that you do follow us on Africa TV Facebook page. Just go search for Africa TV on Facebook, so you find the page, like it. We also have the YouTube channel, so make sure that you do actually subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can get the link also from Facebook. We are also on other platforms such as the Zambian Eye, which is an online news publication publishing news focusing on Africa and also international news. So we'll be on many of these platforms to discuss real issues from various voices. Tom.
Yes, as Owen has stated, we would like to encourage you to spread the news, the good news, and share the links to other platforms with your friends. And our discussions are not propaganda related. We are a factual platform and with no obligation to any political entity. So we are a different kind of uh, live streaming in terms of politics and other areas of our lives. So to encourage everyone, you spread the news and share the links. And we'll be here again tomorrow when we start our proper live broadcast as promised. Owen?
Indeed, tomorrow we'll be back here when we have the topic for tomorrow, which would actually introduce on this program. But just talking about the programs that we will be bringing on Africa TV, we want to do programs that really affect people. That's why we're saying real issues, and we want to bring people on board. Like you've said, you've heard Tom has said that we all no obligation to anyone, and will tell the stories as they are. And Innocent, I'm sure, will be available to give analysis, telling the story as it is. So, Innocent, in terms of analysis, what should people be looking forward to?
Thank you. And I think, as has been established, it's a facts-based, presentation and discussions from various topics. And as said, the idea is obvious to give the best and depth of truth to the audience and to the actual correct points of views on various issues. As you know, social media, sometimes there's this belief that everything people see is right. And I think the intention of this broadcast is to bring the actual truth across many issues across Africa. And I think that I'm one of those that have delved in many, activities, both in the SADC region, Africa as a whole, and obviously even at the geopolitical and geoeconomic, point. So very conversant, and we already know those aspects, country by country, and I think we'll be able to bring the best as things are, and nothing that is going to be brought here which is based on speculation. These are going to be things that are facts and verified right from the cutting edge of the various actions from the different action points of Africa.
Wow, interesting. One of the programs, so maybe we'll go into programs on which people should be looking forward to. I think we'll have a program that has got to do with the health. So the program will be called Health Talk. As you know, you cannot do anything in life if you are not health. So we'll have a program on health, and the program will be called Health Talk. Tom.
Yeah, if you remember a few years ago, no, not a few years ago, it's about maybe 10 years ago, Zambia we used to present Hot Seat, where we brought in various guests, and one of the guests was from a UTH, University Teaching Hospital, who used to discuss a lot on health issues. So we hope to enhance from that program. So yeah, health will be one of the aspects. We also look at religious aspects of Christianity. We also look at the social aspects of our life. We also try to go into the communities, bring out the issues in the communities as well, what is coming out from the communities.
Before you go to the other topics, Tom, maybe just on the health, let's go step by step. So looking at health, so what we intend to do is on health issues, we're going to, the way we'll move is we'll have, of course, experts in that field that are going to come in and share, on certain topics that will bring in. There's the wellness, how does one keep fit, how does one keep fit? There will be issues to do with also certain, diseases, that are not being talked about, how one can prevent such diseases. And then we talk about if one, for instance, is affected, how do they get the treatment? Which are the facilities where they can get services such as this? So these are some of the topics we'll look in terms of health. Innocent, in terms of health, what do you think really must be the package that will enhance and make us relevant to the viewers that we are serving? Innocent.
Thank you, Owen. I think health obviously starts from the component of production of food, and I think in that there is also the issue of seed sovereign for most of the seed crop for food consumption, staple foods in various aspects, locations, and the general agriculture, the wellness of the crop, fertilizers, healthy, and so forth, and how that also possibly affects mortality. As you know, ingestion is everything, and I think that people should be able to expect some bit of information around there, and also to encourage governments and different countries how they should be able to factor in the security of food in terms of its availability, and also quality seed that should be able to add value to people's health, and things of that nature. And possibly maybe we'll touch a bit of pharmaceutical sovereignty as well. As you know, health is health. You can't talk of
It's frozen. Is he?
Oh, yeah, we seem to have a connectivity problem there with Innocent. So, but well elaborated in terms of what you should actually expect from the health programs. I remember, Tom, yes, I think we had a doctor at UTH who used to come and feature
Mr. Mona,
on this. Yeah.
Monahantu.
I think he was called Dr. Munahabantu. He's now
Monahabantu,
a
yeah.
professor. Yeah, he's now a professor, and he's at Lev Mwanawasa Teaching Hospital. So I think that's what you should expect from the health aspect part of it. So perhaps the other area, Tom, that we're going to look at is also on the part of education. Yes, Tom, education.
Yeah. So, yeah, on the part of education, we are going to look at various kinds of where we are as a continent, as a nation, in terms of education. If governments are putting in the required resources in education, and why the certain aspects of education are not being taken into account. But more importantly, is education being accessed in the most rural areas of our continent. So yeah, we'll look at various aspects of education, primary, secondary, and preschool education, and we'll look at the mushrooming of the tertiary institutions, universities, private universities, where they're making a positive impact to the country. We look at that, and the quality. Is it about the quality? Is it about the quantity? Or what government's trying to achieve at the end of the day? But as you know, every nation depends on its human resource. So the more equipped the human resource in terms of knowledge, the better for the nation in terms of productivity. So yeah, on.
Yeah, indeed. We'll also look at the aspect of the career, guidance. I think this is lacking in many countries. Tom, so there's this part that really needs to be emphasized where, children, or learners are guided from that tender age in what career path that they want to actually take. So having said that, we want to appeal to experts in these areas from different parts of Africa that should be able to come and share on this platform. So look at the career guidance. If one, for instance, wants to be a doctor, what kind of subjects? As you know, this platform, we want to cut across, be it the children, be it the adults, different age groups and professionals must be able to find room and something interesting on Africa TV. So we'll guide the learners, those are in the secondary schools, in terms of career path. One wants to be a doctor, what subjects should they focus on? one wants to be a teacher, what subjects that should they focus on, and then from there we'll also look at in terms of availability of institutions offering those programs in different countries in Africa and overseas. Which learning institutions are there, universities and the colleges? So what are the fees that are offered? So within this term, we hope to have also a program called, that will profile different universities and different colleges. So we invite these colleges, we invite these universities basically to come and talk about their institutions, the programs that they are offering, at what point do they do the enrollment, the exams, and why should learners actually go to their learning institution. So in terms of education, I think this is what we actually plan to do. But I think other than that, Tom will also look at the employability part of it. I know in the Western world, universities have a department where actually they guide students in terms of employment. Maybe you can talk more about that.
Yeah, career guidance. Yeah, we also look at career, what the local universities are doing in terms of guiding students, and also whether the the number of graduates are being absorbed into the productivity of the nation. It may not be only formal employment, but also how we are tapping into those who are graduating. But also one aspect of what needs to be looked into is in terms of education is is the continent or countries in Africa well equipped to the current technologies? Are they equipping the students, pupils, with the kind of demands of the current world? So we would look at that. We'll leave that to Innocent. Welcome back, Innocent. Welcome.
Okay, so Innocent is gone again. He's tripped. I hope
Yeah.
he's having challenges with the connectivity. Yes, Tom will look at that, the employment part, and especially, I think in many countries now where people are looking at government as the main source of employment. It's quite interesting when you talk about the Zambian scenario now. We have the new government that introduced skills training, which I think is a very good idea to drive, the economy. But we have issues where these young people are being trained from various skills training institutes. But after one gets these papers, they are certified, you find that again they go sit with their certificates and wait for government to employ them, which is not supposed to be the case. Innocent, you're welcome. We're talking about the education as one of the areas that we're going to be discussing on Africa TV, and we talked about, I think, the career path and just how the education is structured up to the part of one seeking employment to go into the industry. Would you want to add something, Innocent, on the education part?
100%. First of all, apologies. I have to keep switching positions because of issues of lighting and whatnot. Talking about education and I think skills, I think it's interesting. I think like here in Zambia, the administration has gone to providing free education, and I think there's been plenty of funding and sponsorship for skills, set for many people in outlying areas across even urban setups. What would be interesting, obviously, is to delve into a type of education that makes relevancy for economic development and emancipation. You bear me witness that I think in general across Africa, we depend too much to foreign aid kind of developments, even skills. I think what we needed is to have an education, type that is able to get learners to be able to be useful to the environments and make goods of the economy from things that we're endowed with. So it'll be interesting that obviously we expand on how governments can create policies around the type of education that seeks to bring about economic development, food security in families, and economic stability as well. Because as it were, I think it shouldn't just be about language. It must be about skills. People should survive off necessarily being on a job. A person that graduates from high school is supposed to be able to know how to navigate the challenges of life. It shouldn't be an issue of looking for jobs only from the government point of view. People should be endowed with skill sets that must make them survive, from timber, mineralogy, and so forth, so that at least people are able to get to know how to survive, and some information linkages through basic education that we're able to get them across to where things are happening, cutting edge technologies that are able to bring Africa to where it ought to be, not only to be a place and home of resources, but a place and home of developments, and thereby getting these synergies with the global.
Yeah, quite interesting there.
Yeah.
The other part that we need to look at is also maybe the issue of entrepreneurship. It's very interesting. I think one of the universities I went to, called the University of Africa, it's compulsory for all the students, regardless of what course that you are taking, what program you are doing. It's mandatory that you have to actually study entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is the key to every economy. Because once we produce a cadre, we don't need political cadres. We need a cadre of entrepreneurs. Innocent. We need a cadre of entrepreneurs, because when we have entrepreneurs, real entrepreneurs, then we are talking about job creation. Tom.
Yeah, very true. Like today, our discussion is just mainly about introduction of what we're going to discuss. So, sorry, just excuse me. Owen, I'll leave it to you.
Okay, great. So entrepreneurship, very, very important. Innocent, would you want to touch on that, on entrepreneurship?
Yes, of course.
I know we're just giving highlights.
As a matter of fact, Owen, I'm actually an entrepreneur myself, and thank God, I should say proudly that in the mid 90s, when the government of MMD then introduced TVETA in colleges, I was one of the students who were beneficiaries, from Northern Technical College on the Copper Belt, where every learner has to obviously go through entrepreneurial-based kind of education, setting up companies, being able to run them, from communication skills, basic accounting, financial accounting, and all those things. So it is important that when you talk about education, talk about people having to to stand on their own, like I did say, and that takes a realization that we all need to be very useful in our environments, and we can only do so if we have basic management of finances and business in general, not necessarily to levels of sophistication and dependency, but to levels where people are able to manage and show a professional stance in having to run their affairs in areas of resources. I could give an example, for instance, of China and India. I think most of the production and exports that we see, many people don't realize the production of different categories of goods are done in rural areas. Why? Because there people have learned basic trades. If you're making padlocks, you're making this, you specialize in the area. The government simply regularizes the quality standards, and then everything goes to a point where it's graded for local use and for export market. And that's why these countries are now growing at a fast rate, because even the issue of trading, there's no time limit like we have it in general Africa, where our goods are only, showcased in the malls, and when people knock off, they can't even access the goods. In these countries that are growing at a fast rate today, the production is from the backyard of people's homes because of the basic entrepreneurial understanding and advantages. Then the country grows at level. So there's mass production. Mass production goes with education. Education, a basic of entrepreneurial understanding, some skills, talents, and stuff like that. So this is where this discussion and topics will be very interesting, because it will bring about the ability from the point of view of how people will discover, many of our youth will discover that they're sleeping giants. And only when this knowledge is given to them and they are able to be aware, then they will know how much they'll be able to, to blossom.
Yeah, like Innocent is saying, the importance of SMEs in an economy, it brings out stability and productivity. If we can encourage SMEs and encourage SMEs and finance them. Most important thing is about financing and equipping them with the necessary skills, as Innocent has said. So yeah, we'll mainly talk about this in depth as we go on.
Wow, interesting. Actually, we'll have a program called Talking Business. So on Talking Business, we'll have different businesses, be it small entrepreneurs, set up, startup businesses who come on our program actually to come and talk about their businesses. So, gentlemen, we only have like 2 minutes, I think, to go for today's show. Let me allow each one of you under 30 seconds to give the closing remarks. So we'll start with Innocent.
Thank you so much, Owen. In a very brief, I would say to the audience, I think you have an opportunity to be able to get the basics that are stable, that are the basics and the foundation for growth. Information is everything. When you're going to get what we're discussing here in the various topics that are going to be promoted, and I think that will be an opportunity to be able to know and grow and take off from there unstoppably.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you, Innocent. Tomorrow's discussions will center on what's happening in Malawi, also what's happening in Zambia as well in terms of the tenure of MPs, and then also what African presidents have been saying at the United Nations General Assembly. Yeah. So tomorrow is the big top. We'll have Innocent giving a analysis on these topics that we're going to discuss tomorrow. Owen?
Interesting. So please make sure that you stay tuned tomorrow. It's the big talk. So on behalf of Innocent and Tom, thank you so much for those that are actually tuned in. We see you tomorrow. It's Africa TV, where real issues are discussed. Until tomorrow, have a good night and God bless you.
Good night.
Good night.